Hi everyone, and welcome back to the London Watch Collector channel. If you just tuned into my channel, I'm a watch collector, a watch enthusiast. Basically, I'm addicted to watches. And on my channel, I'll be sharing my passion for watches using 4K content. I'll be discussing and showing you brilliant timepieces ranging from Seiko to Patek Philippe. So guys, if you enjoy my reviews, please subscribe to my channel, make sure to hit the notification bell and follow me on Instagram. So guys, as seen in the title, and if you're following me on Instagram, I posted a photo a couple of days ago calling it as buying my first Neo-Vintage Rolex. And before I start this review, I'm going to explain to you guys a bit about this purchase and what do I mean by Neo-Vintage. A couple of months ago, when I did the review about the Basel releases, I told you that I was not impressed with any Rolex releases, so I will be looking into buying some vintage watches and specifically Rolex vintage. To be honest, when I said vintage, I was thinking more of 1970s, 80s, early 90s, and maybe even late 60s. But as you know, the vintage world is a different world completely. When you're buying a vintage, you need to make sure that everything is perfect in the sense of the clasp matches the bracelet matches the watch, hour markers, the hour hands, the bezel. There's so many details that you have to look into that I felt that buying a neo-vintage rather than a vintage would be a good start and then take it from there. So by neo-vintage, I would say anything ranging between 10 to 20 to 25 years ago. The criteria I had was earliest I wanted the watch to be is a year 2000, the latest is a 2006. The reason for that is lots of things happened during the millennium. For example, in Daytonas, they started doing the in-house movement, the 4130. The lug holes on the case disappeared on most of the Rolex watches. And then after 2006, the box changed. So pre-2006, you had the old style of box, and then 2006 onwards, you had the new version of a box, and so on, including the rehold. So I think, I'm not exactly sure, but it's somewhere around 2008 or between 2008 and 2010, they started having the rehold, the Rolex engraved on the internal edge. I didn't want that because I have all modern Rolex watches and they all have the engraving on the internal edge, and I wanted something different. Sorry for the long introduction, but I felt that I need to shed some light on this purchase and I'm gonna tease you through it. If you guys guess it, pause this video, leave me a comment and let's see if you get it right. The Rolex box, it comes with a wide sleeve and you can see it's actually worn out. Gives you that neo-vintage look. And the Rolex boxes, which have changed currently, so the Rolex crown is more visible because it has this beige golden color on the cream box. Opening it up, you're presented with two manuals, but the second one is actually hidden because if I show you the manual, you'll guess the watch. So let's keep it as a surprise for now. So I'll keep the manuals to the side. Opening up the box, you'd expect to be presented with the watch, but nope, it's covered with a cloth. So under the cloth, there are two tags. One is the green tag, which the white tag in this era, so 2016 onwards, it's replaced by a white tag. It's one thing to note is that the white tag in the current generation, they don't give you the serial number of the bracelet, but on those ones they do. At the back of it, you'll have the serial number, model number, as well as the bracelet reference number. And then you have the Rolex tag, which is maroon, and that gives you only 2 years warranty. This watch being a 2006 model, it's way out of warranty. And the warranty card, which used to be in a paper format. Another reason why I chose the watch to be pre-2006. And from 2007 onwards, they changed into the credit card style. And I wanted the paper. I wanted that old school feel. So it's a Z serial number, which means it's a 2006. At the back, you have a calendar and you have the translation. Translation is in many languages, and the calendar is basically to set the date because it's a date function, so it gives you a calendar for 2 years, being 2006 and 2007. So when I talk about a watch collection, it's not just about the purchase. What I had to go through to find this watch. So this watch was purchased from Switzerland in 2006. As you'll see from the manuals, everything is in French. And it was bought from the original owner. And I believe when you're buying a vintage or a neo-vintage watch, try to buy one from the original owner because he would know what was done to the watch. If you buy it from, let's say, a fourth hand or a second hand or a third hand, it's going to be handled by different owners, probably be polished in between. Sometimes parts are changed which does not match the watch, etc. But what I really liked is that when I was in Switzerland and I met up with this guy, it was in Geneva, I felt very comfortable with the guy. He's a nice chap. He came and visited me in London as well. And it was the beginning of a new friendship. And he was quite happy that the watch has come to me, knowing that it's in safe hands. It's like when you have a pet at home and then you have to give it away for some reasons. For example, if you're moving countries or moving houses, or you give it to someone that you know will take care of it. Although you'll never see that pet again, but that feeling gives you, that's what he felt. And that's what watch collection is about. That's what different ownership is about. If possible, always buy from the first owner directly rather than gray, etc. So as I mentioned, 2006, October to be exact, there is no name on the guarantee card, so I can actually fill up my name there and the watch would be under my name, which is a cool fact. At the top, you can see it says Acier, which means stainless steel in French. Where my fingers are, it says Z serial, as I said before. Another thing I want to mention is that I bought a brand new bracelet. And the reason for that were two. One reason is that it has some stretch. The second reason is that I want to keep original bracelet as clean as possible, as scratch free as possible, because the buckle as well as the bracelet match the watch exactly, so it's from the same era, 2006. Just before I reveal the watch, I'm going to show you those three and it will definitely give it away. If you haven't guessed it, guys, it's the GMT Master 2 reference 16710. And I've bought all three bezels along with the bracelet, so I have the Coke, the Pepsi, and the LN version. Another nice feature about buying from the original owner, he still has the stickers. So when he removed the stickers, the one on the case back and the clasp, he just stick them on the guarantee card. So it's a nice touch. It gives you a nice feel that everything is in place, everything in order, nothing missing, and it just gives you a good feeling. So guys, just before I reveal the watch, the manuals that I was hiding initially, just give you a flick through it. It's all in French, so I don't understand French. It shows you all three versions, Pepsi, Coke, and LN version. I'll tell you why I bought this watch at the end of this review and what I'm planning on doing with it. In case you're wondering why I bought the BLRO and I actually own the 2018 Pepsi as well. You'll find out at the end of this review. So guys, I've dragged it long enough. It's time to show you the watch up close. And there you go, guys. The GMT Master 2 reference 16710. I'm not gonna say BLRO because it can be any of the three. So guys, if you look closely, you're gonna realize something. Look at the writing GMT Master 2 on top of superlative chronometer. The 2 you see there, it's not a normal 2. It's not the Roman numerals. It's actually 2 stick dials. And this dial is known as a stick dial. Some of the collectors call it as an error dial. And it's a nice touch. It's more of a collector's thing. It is rare, but not too rare. It's not like the flat 4s, the Y series that you get out there. But I felt it's another nice touch having a stick dial rather than the normal one. It makes it a bit more special. But if I probably didn't even tell you guys, you wouldn't have even noticed. So let me show you the bracelet, the original bracelet that came with. As you see there, there's a code of OP. And the OP represents the year 2006. It should be engraved on both sides as well as at the bottom of the buckle. So OP7, it says at the bottom of the buckle. OP again represented 2006. And I believe the 7 represent that it was made in July. So manufactured is probably in July and not sold until October because that's the date on the guarantee card. And if you guys are wondering why did I buy the Oyster bracelet rather than the Jubilee, for the main reason that I already have the Pepsi Jubilee and At the same time, the Jubilee of the older models has the hollow center link, so it's a bit more of a rattling bracelet compared to the latest. So guys, although the stickers have already been removed from the case, I thought why not give you a small little sticker removal. We can remove the stickers on the bracelet just to get the feel of a brand new watch and enjoy it with you guys. So comparing the stretch on both bracelets, you can see the improvement. This was the main reason why I got a new bracelet. The stretch on the bracelet was kind of bothering me, and I thought paying £1,500 for a new bracelet was definitely worth it. So guys, why did I choose this watch? Believe it or not, I was flying from Germany to Brazil, and the guy next to me on the plane was wearing the 16710, the LN version, which is the black. And I couldn't stop looking at it. I remember I was wearing my Patek Philippe Travel Time, the Aquanaut, and I thought, you know what, I'm gonna ask him if we can swap watches even for 10 minutes just to get a feel of a neo-vintage Rolex, because I've never handled one. And he was over the moon, obviously, and I think for a good half an hour I was wearing the LN, and I actually fell in love with it. And what did I like the most is the non-maxi case, the non-maxi dial. When I do next week's review, which is going to be the latest Pepsi versus this Pepsi, you're going to see the difference between the maxi case, the maxi dials. The case is way slimmer, the lugs are more refined, more slimmer, giving it this classic, authentic, vintage look. And it was love at first sight when I saw the LN. Probably by the time you see this review, the bezel would probably already be on an LN, because the only reason I kept it on the Pepsi, because I wanted to film this review. I want to do the old Pepsi versus the new Pepsi comparison review, and then it's gonna go on an LN bezel and stay on the LN. I'm gonna be wearing the hell out of this watch and probably gonna be on my wrist just like the L.W.C for at least a couple of months. What do you guys think? Was it a good move to pull the trigger on this one? And I'm looking forward to revealing my next two neo-vintage watches that I've already purchased. I hope you enjoyed this review. That's all for this week. Thank you for watching.